to the pumpkin song. In this town, don't we love it now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise. Skeleton Jack might catch you in the back and scream like a banshee, make you jump out of your skin. This is Halloween, everybody scream. Would you please make way for a very special guy? Our man Jack is king of the pumpkin patch. Everyone hail to the pumpkin king. Now this is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Interlocutings everywhere. Life's no fun without a good scare. That's our job, but we're not mean. In our town of Halloween. In this town we call home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin song.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction. Hope you've been having a fantastic Wednesday. It's going to be a very short stream, and you're going to find out here in a bit. The trial had to be cut short, actually, because there was a tornado warning in Waukesha County. There was a tornado warning, so in the interest of public safety, they elected to cut the Waukesha. There we go. Or Waukesha. Is it Waukesha? You know what? I don't know. Anyway, they had to cut it short, so there's not going to be much in the way of highlights, but we are going to go review. I thought I knew how to pronounce it, Danny. I just got suddenly confused. Sorry, brain fart. Anyway, we're gonna first watch what I live streamed earlier today. So if those who didn't watch my live stream at lunchtime, you'll know why I got so pissed off. And then there are a couple of other highlights from certain witness testimony to go through, and then we'll wrap it up. But I want to say hi to all of you. Thank you for joining me. Hello to all of you new people from Law and Lumber, Natalie, and Uncivil Laws community, and Uncle Runkle's community as well. Thank you, all of you, for giving me a chance. So we're going to start out with the very early morning, and we're going to go from there. But thank you guys again.
Mr. Brooks, I'm reviewing this for completeness, and you have simply put on here State of Wisconsin plaintiff. That's an entity. You have to name a person, sir. The date. Well, the date we would fill in. So I'll have it shown to the state, and they can let me know their position on that.
Any legal basis why that would not be accepted, Your Honor?
You have to have a person named, sir, so that they can come and testify. You only have an entity named.
Is it not true that under the Sixth Amendment I have the right to face my accuser?
Mr. Brooks, let me hear from the state.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree with the court's assessment. The subpoena does not state a person. The subpoena form specifically indicates that the person requesting the subpoena is to indicate the witness's name and address. Mr. Brooks has simply written the word State of Wisconsin plaintiff for the witness name. The State of Wisconsin is an entity, it's not a person. The State of Wisconsin cannot testify at these proceedings, so the subpoena should be rejected, Your Honor.
Your Honor, on the grounds that every document that was filed in this matter stated that the State of Wisconsin was the plaintiff, which would lead me to believe that the State of Wisconsin is who's bringing the claim against my client. How could they not be subpoenaed to testify if they're the plaintiff? And under the Sixth Amendment, I have the right to face my accuser. My accuser in this matter is the plaintiff, which is the state of Wisconsin.
So he's dead wrong. Number one, he submitted a subpoena to an entity. Number one. Number two, he's wrong on what the Sixth Amendment says in the Constitution. The Sixth Amendment says that the accused shall have the right to confront the witnesses against him. That's what it says. And what has he been doing this entire time? Confronting the witnesses against him. Doesn't say anything about a specific accuser. It says witnesses against him. And that is kind of what really started pissing me off, but we'll continue on.
Attorney Opper also brought up that it didn't have an address on there. None of my subpoenas had addresses, as we went on the record, and that was stated that a lot of the paperwork that I have don't have a lot of the people's addresses on there, and those subpoenas were accepted. So I don't see the difference with this subpoena not being accepted for the reasons that Attorney Opper just stated.
Mr. Brooks, in relation to that subpoena, based upon my review for completeness, this court would note you have not named a person, you've named an entity, and the subpoena will be kept on file as part of the court record, but I'm not going to require the
Waukesha.
state of Wisconsin to testify in this case because they are an entity and you have not named a person.
Are they not, or are they not the plaintiff, Your Honor?
They are the plaintiff in this case, sir.
And why are they not able to testify, being that
Sir,
they...
you've named an entity, not a person. People are called to the witness stand to testify. You have had an opportunity to cross-examine every single person who has been called by the state to testify in this trial. I believe that your Sixth Amendment rights have been complied with.
Which they have, because every single person on there they're testifying as witnesses against him. They are being placed by the state to help bolster the allegations that he committed these acts. So they are the witnesses that he can confront, and he has confronted them. He's been allowed, with a lot of leeway, to cross-examine each and every witness.
Not if I'm not allowed to face my accuser, Your Honor. My accuser in this matter would be the state of Wisconsin. And with all due
Sir, I believe your
respect,
Sixth Amendment rights in that regard have been complied with.
I'm requesting a written judicial finding of fact and conclusion of law on this issue for the grounds that I just stated. It was seen, based on the Sixth Amendment, that I'm not being awarded the chance to face my accuser, which I should be awarded that based on the Sixth Amendment. If I'm not able to face my accuser, then how can a claim even stand? How can a claim be brought against my client if I'm not able to face the accuser?
So this case is a criminal case in a court of competent jurisdiction in the state of Wisconsin, Waukesha County. This case was initiated initially by the filing of a criminal complaint. Then there was a preliminary hearing where probable cause was found. After that point, there was an information that was filed. And at some point, an amended complaint, perhaps even a second amended complaint, was filed as well, putting you on notice of the charges and the factual basis for those charges, along with the statutes that are alleged to have been violated. I'm not going to explain any further why you can't call the state of Wisconsin in the way that you've subpoenaed them or attempted to subpoena them for the reasons I've already stated. I understand where you might disagree with the court's ruling, but my ruling stands, and I'm not requiring the plaintiff in this case to serve that subpoena in any way for the defects I've already noted.
May I state for the record,
And I'm
Your
also,
Honor,
hold on, I'm also not going to issue a written decision on that. The record speaks for itself.
may I state for the record, Your Honor, that I have not even seen a complaint in this matter, and the jurisdiction still has yet to be proven, which is another thing that needs to be challenged. There has not been proven that there's subject matter jurisdiction as of yet. There's no verified proof of it. There's no verified proof of even a claim. If it's
Oh my fucking. All right. So just so we're clear, the state has a very, very, very easy burden of demonstrating jurisdiction, or at least the jurisdiction that he wants to think it is, which would be territorial and subject matter. The jurisdiction would be, the territory would be that the complaint alleges that he committed the crime within the territorial borders of the state of Wisconsin. The second would be that the court that he's in is constitutionally or statutorily assigned the jurisdiction to hear criminal cases such as this. Once those two are there, that's it. That's all. All they need to show is that it's is what's on the complaint. That's it. Once they met that burden, the burden shifts to him to say that they don't have jurisdiction, and he needs to provide the evidence for it. He can't just simply challenge it and call it a day.
especially if I'm not allowed to face my accuser, and I don't understand how you can make that judicial decision, Your Honor, when it's clear discrepancies in the paperwork of this matter. Like I said, I have yet to see jurisdiction be proven. It has not been proven. I have yet to see a complaint. I have not seen that.
The court has provided you with, I believe it was the second amended criminal complaint, along with the...
Yeah, that's going to be something they can easily debunk.
information that was provided to you previously and noted on the record. I've already addressed your motion to
Thank you, Persnickety, for the $4.99 super chat.
I'm not going to revisit that. There's no legal basis requiring me to do that, sir. The plaintiff in this matter has presented witnesses to establish venue. And again, as I've noted previously, it's a criminal case with criminal charges, with a second amended criminal complaint detailing the factual basis upon which these charges are based. We're a notice pleading state. And along with the information, you've been made aware of all of the charges and the penalties you face and the factual basis upon which the state has brought these charges. We are in the middle of trial. Your objections are noted. We will continue today with the jury trial.
For the record, may I respectfully move for interlocutory declaratory appeal on this matter, Your Honor?
Your request is noted for the record. I'm not an appellate court, sir.
He just asked for an interlocutory appeal. Number one, this is the trial level. He can't ask the court for that. He has to actually ask the appellate division for that, or Wisconsin's appellate courts for that. Number one. Number two, they wouldn't grant it because this is a criminal case. They do not allow interlocutory appeals. I would imagine, I can't imagine that Wisconsin would be a state that would allow this. No state should allow this. What an interlocutory appeal is that it's an appeal that's heard while the case has not been adjudicated on the merits. The only time that you would allow that, for example, say a judge denies it's only allowed in civil cases. And so an example of where they would allow an interlocutory appeal would be, for example, if a judge denies a motion for summary judgment. So that's what, because a summary judgment isn't a full adjudication on the merits, a party can ask for an interlocutory appeal of that motion. So that's an example, but that's only civil case. They do not do that for criminal.
For the record, may I move to stay these proceedings until this instant matter is adjudicated by a court of competent jurisdiction.
Your request is denied.
Based on what law or fact, Your Honor?
I've previously addressed the issue, sir,
So
based
you're
on law of the case.
Are you making a judicial determination that I'm not awarded my Sixth Amendment right to face my accuser?
I'm not making any such determination here today. All right.
What law or fact?
I'm going to turn to the district attorney's office. Do you have a witness available?
Yes, we're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
All right, our jurors here. All right, the jurors will be brought out, sir.
Your Honor, with all due respect for the record, you're avoiding my questions.
Mr. Brooks, I've addressed the issues that need to be addressed this morning. I've also addressed the same issues probably every day we've been in court. I know you may be dissatisfied with the response that I'm providing to you, but my responses stand.
It's not a dissatisfaction, Your Honor. It's a lack of understanding, which I don't have. I don't even understand the true nature and cause of the charges. And without
Mr. Brooks, you've been made
Thank
aware
you.
of them multiple times.
I do not understand
I
them, is what I'm saying.
encourage you once again, if you don't understand anything, to seek the advice of an attorney.
Thank you, Kathleen, for the
advice.
$9.99 super
I'm
chat.
not asking for that, Your Honor. I'm merely asking why are my constitutional rights being prejudiced? It states under the Sixth Amendment that I have the
Sir,
right.
I've already addressed this. Okay, we're not going to have any further argument on this topic. All right, your Sixth Amendment rights are being honored no differently than any other defendant that has appeared in my court.
Have any other defendant not been awarded the opportunity to face their accuser?
You are facing your accuser, sir. Every single witness who's been on this stand, you have cross-examined.
None of those witnesses are making a claim. None of those witnesses are the plaintiff. None of those witnesses are identified as the injured party. An injured party has to make the claim, Your Honor. A
Sir,
living.
it's my opinion that your belief as it relates to that is mistaken. It's not a lawful argument, and it's frivolous. I've directed your attention once again to the
I think that comment was kind of what set me off the most. Again, because of what we talked about yesterday, the fact that he could say with a straight face that there's no injured party, or to interpret or to infer that there is no injured party making a claim, is just infuriating to me. When the charges are 6 homicides and 66 counts of injury. Infuriating. But I've since calmed down a little bit. Also, Kitty.
Beneby decision.
Is that not a federal case, a United States?
You're asking me for legal advice. I'm not going to provide that to you, sir.
I'm just asking what kind of case it was. Was it federal Supreme
Yes,
Court
it's a
case?
Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals case. We're in the Seventh Circuit, sir.
But you just stated that you're not a court of appeals. But you're citing a court of appeals case.
You are a fucking dumbass. Obviously, he's not an attorney, so of course he doesn't understand this. The Wisconsin's in the Seventh Circuit, Seventh Federal Circuit Court of Appeals. Therefore, decisions under the Seventh Circuit have precedential value in Wisconsin. But he doesn't understand that.
Bill's case law applies to this court, sir. I'm bound by legal precedent from the various courts that are above me.
And you're still not explaining how I'm not able to face my accuser, which is my Sixth Amendment constitutional right.
Sir, I'm not going to
say
explain
that.
the law to you. I've made my decision. It stands.
I'm not arguing it that part of it, Your Honor. I'm just merely
Do we have the
stating
jurors
for the
come in?
record.
Yeah, I heard the door.
Okay, thank you.
I'm merely stating for the record that I should be awarded my Sixth Amendment right to face my
Your
accuser.
objection is noted, sir, once again. We'll continue this morning. Thank you.
None of the witnesses that testify are the accuser. None of the witnesses that testify are the injured party, which a claim has to be made by a living, breathing human being.
Sir, I
which
think you're
have not.
confusing civil law with criminal law. That's what
No,
I'm
I'm
saying.
confusing.
With the way they stood up, I'm wondering
I'm
if the
not
jury
confusing
is
any
coming in
law.
right now to witness this.
The Constitution says that I have the right to face my accuser. And under the Sixth Amendment, I'm not being awarded that constitutional right. I think that definitely needs to be on record, and that definitely is an issue that needs
Your
to be
objection is
raised.
noted, sir. If you believe I've erred in that regard, you can raise that issue on appeal if you are convicted.
May I put Your Honor on notice that I intend to appeal that decision?
Your statement's noted for the record.
Is that a judicial determination I will not be able to face my accuser, Your Honor?
I have not made any such determination, sir.
Will you be making a judicial determination?
Sir, I
No.
have not made any kind of determination that your Sixth Amendment rights have been violated. On the contrary, I believe this court has honored those rights.
Even with me not being able to face my accuser, which is the state of
Your
Wisconsin, the
position
plaintiff.
is noted, sir.
Is
It's
that a
noted for the
judicial
record. I've already addressed it.
is that a judicial determination?
Sir, the record speaks for itself.
Is that a judicial
He
determination?
really wants a
The
gotcha,
jurors are coming out. All right.
and she's not biting.
Are you going to answer that, Your Honor? Or is
No.
that a tacit agreement?
I'm not going to answer that further. I've answered it multiple times.
Is it a tacit agreement?
He also says tacket, but I think he wants to say tacit, Tacit, but he pronounces it tacket. Oh, but that's it. Oh, that was it. That was the firework. That was, I don't want to say fireworks, but that was the early morning insanity. But excuse me, we're gonna go right into the some of the highlights here. I keep yawning and I shouldn't. It's gonna be a decent evening for me today. We're gonna go real quick with some of these bits and pieces, and then I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'm going to be live on my gaming channel tonight at 7 o'clock with Phasmophobia. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check out my gaming channel, of course. October, so I tend to play spooky games. Oh, no. There we go.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat.
On
The first
Chili,
thing
he
I will
threatened a
ask
lawyer.
you to do is to state your first and last names for the record, and then spell each.
First name is Adam. Last name is Bonesteel. Adam. Bonesteel.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Mr. Bonesteel, thank you for being here this morning, sir. I want to ask you about the events of November 21 of 2021, okay?
Yes.
Were you participating in the Waukesha Christmas parade that afternoon, sir?
Yes.
And what was your role in the parade?
I was driving the float for Citizens Bank.
And your wife Stephanie works for the bank, is that right?
Yes, I was volunteering with her and the rest of the family.
Right. And you said you were driving the float, is that right?
That is correct.
Were you driving a vehicle pulling a trailer with the float on it, or?
I was driving a Suburban pulling the trailer.
Okay. So you have a full-size Chevy Suburban,
Yes.
which is like a large SUV,
2019.
full-size SUV?
Yes.
Okay.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
And the float was on a trailer behind you?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know about how long the trailer was, or the approximate size?
12 by, I would say 8 feet by 12 feet.
Okay. Now, when the parade started out, were you alone in the car?
No,
Who was with you?
I had a 6-year-old daughter of one of the employees with me. She was in the passenger seat.
Okay. And other than that, you were alone in your car with her?
Her and I were in the vehicle, just us two.
Okay. Were you playing any loud music as part of your group's presentation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you remember if you had the windows on your vehicle up or down?
The window on my side, driver's side window was down. On her side, it was slightly down.
Okay. And do you remember during the parade something unusual that your attention was drawn toward?
Objection.
Overruled. You may answer, sir.
Along the route,
Yes.
yes,
Wait,
it would be.
I just to refresh my recollection. His last name is actually Bone Steel, right? It's something, or at least it's pronounced Bone Steel. That's a fucking hardcore name, and he looks fucking jacked. He looks like he could rip Mr. Brooks in half right now.
Important to note that the groups got spread out.
Okay.
And it happens in parades where one's going faster and the others are going slower, and we got left kind of in the middle. We had a lot more people, walking.
That is metal. It's very metal.
So there was a gap. The dance crew behind us was a good half a block behind us. The dancing grannies in front of us were about another half a block in front of us.
Okay.
Driving in the parade, I generally, want to know where my walkers are, so I'm always in my mirrors, watching my speed. They come up, they grab candy off the trailer to throw to the crowd. So, you have to be very alert.
Okay. Now, you've driven in parades before.
Yes.
Because you're a good husband.
Yes.
Okay. And
Overruled.
the,
Please stand. Go ahead.
thank you, Your Honor. Would you say that consistent with your
He's so fucking salty that they actually had a little bit of levity in the questioning.
practice, did you do that in this float? You're constantly...
And oh, by the way, somebody turned that reaction into a meme in my Discord, which I appreciate. I say that
Would you say
this
that
little
consistent with your practice,
eye-rolling
did you do that
shit.
in this float? You're constantly aware of what you're surrounded
Yes.
that is now a meme in my Discord. So join my Discord.
with. And people walking with your group.
Yes.
The people ahead of you and the people behind you as well.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know downtown Waukesha pretty good, or okay, or
No.
not very good at all?
No.
Okay. Do you know the parade route?
I did know the route, but I couldn't tell you cross streets. I can't tell you, those specifics.
Sure. Do you know where you were along the route when the trouble happened?
Well, I know the landmark would be the nice ash bar that was basically right. We were in front of where we were in that block when things transpired, just because they took us in when businesses were locking down. My vehicle got basically blocked in by emergency vehicles.
Okay.
I was not able to leave,
Sure.
and when everything was going on, they basically took our group in. I started packing up, like I could leave,
Okay.
getting the float packed up and just wanting to get my family home.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where police officers came by as they were taping off the area and said, "You can't be here."
Okay.
So my vehicle ended up staying there overnight.
Okay. So let's go back to the point where you noticed something was going on in the parade.
So, we had started, the parade route had gotten, with our groups kind of separated. I noticed when I had looked out my driver's side mirror that I saw headlights behind me, and I remember thinking briefly, what's the dance guy doing behind me? Why is he so far off to the left?
Okay.
Basically, when that thought was over, I heard the roar of an engine, and I was watching in my side mirror and saw a woman running kind of towards the corner of my vehicle, the back corner, in between like let's say by the tongue of the trailer, and we're trying to get to that point of my vehicle,
Okay.
and then saw the impact and heard it, as well as the roar of an engine.
Okay. Let's just break that down a little bit, okay? So first you notice the headlights, then you hear the engine, and you see a person running. Did you know who it was at that instant?
No.
Okay.
I had no idea who the person was.
Could you tell it was a member of your group?
Yes.
How could you tell that?
They had the red cloaks on.
Okay. So then you said you heard something?
Oh, yeah, you heard. I heard and saw the impact.
Tell us about
You
that,
ever
please.
heard a car hit another car, or an abutment, or a deer? If anybody's ever hit a deer with their car, you've heard it. I watched the body fly up onto the hood, and her head snapped back, and the body remained on the hood as it passed the side of my vehicle to where I thought I could have just reached out and grabbed her.
So this happened that close to you.
Yes.
You saw all this with your own two eyes.
Yes.
Did the car continue past you?
Yes.
Where did it go?
The car veered kind of in front of me. I saw brake lights and saw what was Jane fall off the hood. He proceeded to, and she was basically on the right side of his vehicle, and he proceeded to run her over with the right front tire, then the right rear tire.
Jesus.
And at that point, I was just focused on the body on the ground, but I remember hearing the roar of the engine again. And
How fast were you going?
2 miles an hour.
How fast would you estimate the other vehicle was going?
30.
Did you get a description of that other car?
It was red,
That's all you know?
like a box type back end. That's all I know. That's all. I thought my wife was the woman on the car. So you see your whole life going by you, in what you think is an act of terror because you don't know what's going on. And then a body's laying on the ground. And at that point, that was my only focus. My vehicle, I threw it in park and ran to decipher if this was really who I think it is.
Okay.
Details of which direction the vehicle went after that, I cannot tell you. I'm sorry. It was tunnel vision right to the ground.
Of course. You do distinctly remember, though, seeing the red vehicle that you've described roll over the person on the ground.
Yes.
With both tires.
Yes.
Let's show you an item that's been marked as Exhibit 46, please. And we're going to put it up for you first and have you take a look at it.
I believe this was this is the dancing he's at the dancing grannies area, right?
Is it up on your screen, sir?
I think this
Yep.
is where it's at.
And right now the video is not playing. It's frozen on the first frame. Do you see that?
Yep.
Do you recognize what you're looking at here, sir?
Yep.
What are you looking at?
It appears to be Jane on the ground.
Is that what she looked like when you ran up to her?
She was on her side, face down, yeah.
I'm going to ask
Those are the pants, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they were in front of
I'm
him.
gonna have my assistant play this video through for you. It's a total length of 15 seconds, okay?
Yes.
I want you to watch it, and then I'll have some questions for you, okay?
Yeah, I did see the verdict, Randy.
Okay. Mr. Bonesteel, did you see yourself in that video?
Yes, I did.
Do you believe this video is a true and accurate representation of the events as you ran up to Jane on the
Yes.
street? Move to admit 46 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Objection.
Exhibit 46 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Objection be noted for the record, Your Honor.
It's noted.
All right. So, Mr. Bonesteel, in this frame, I don't see you in this frame yet, correct?
That's correct.
But we do see Jane laying there on the road, correct?
That's correct.
She's got the red top and the black plaid pants. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and play it all the way through, 15 seconds at normal speed. That's you right there in the khaki pants at the 6-second mark.
That is correct. Black sweatshirt.
That's you right there at the end. Sunglasses on your head. Okay.
Was that a yes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir.
Do you know if medical assistance was provided to Jane?
I do not.
What happened?
Once I realized that it wasn't Steph, I ran back to find her and the kids. And I found them back by the vehicle.
Okay.
After I had found them, my next thought was, oh my God, Addison's behind us. That's my daughter's good friend. And another friend was also there. And I ran back to find her.
With the extreme dance group?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find those girls?
I found Addison. Sam had been struck.
What's Sam's last name?
Coelho.
Okay.
I asked Addison if she wanted to come with us. Her mother was actually waiting at the end of the parade route, so she was en route to get her. But
Okay.
then I went back to my family and the rest of the group that we were in the parade with, and at that point the nice ash bar was taking them in,
Okay.
and then I was just focused on getting out of there,
Yeah.
which didn't happen.
Did you learn later that Jane passed away due to her injuries from this collision?
We did learn that later. My gut feeling in that was that she had passed.
You mean when you went up and saw her?
Yes.
You felt she was either dead or close to death?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions for you.
All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do. Whew.
This is going to be a bit rough, and honestly, the thing is, I feel whenever I see him do that, I'm not necessarily saying that he's faking this, but let's assume, I can't say one way or the other, but let's assume for the sake of argument that these tears are genuine. Here's the thing: the tears aren't for the victims; they're for him. I'm gonna make that judgment right there. That whatever, if there's actual tears coming out, they're for him, not for the victim.
I apologize. I just needed a quick second.
Pull it together, he whispers under his breath.
At some point in your testimony, you stated that you heard, or rather you saw brake lights. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, I did.
To the best of your knowledge, what would be the only time you would see brake lights on a vehicle?
The point right before Jane fell off the hood.
I think you misunderstood my question. If you were driving the vehicle, would it be fair to say that the only time anyone would see brake lights would be if you hit the brake?
If the driver hit the brakes, the brake lights would go on the vehicle.
So it would be fair to say that the only way that you would see brake lights would be if the driver of the vehicle hit the brakes.
That would be correct.
I don't know why he... Okay. So he's trying to make what? The argument that he braked? He had already ran over, what, 20 people at this point by the time he got here? What does it matter whether or not he pumped the brakes here? Whatever. Yeah, Danny's right. He only braked to get the body off the hood.
That you did not get a look at the driver. Would that be fair to say?
That was never part of my testimony. Nobody had asked me that question. Are you asking me that question if I had seen the driver?
I do recall you saying that you did not see the driver, so I guess that's...
In my testimony?
Yes.
Oh.
Hold on.
What?
I was going to ask you a question, and I'm going to ask that you answer that, okay?
Okay.
So go ahead, ask your question.
Did you at any time see the driver of the vehicle?
No.
You did testify to when you were describing what you saw.
Thank you, Darcy, for the 1999 super chat.
Any reason why you referred to the driver as he if you did not see the driver of the vehicle?
Oh,
That would be like the proverbial we.
so he fucking harps on giving the pronoun of the driver a he. But my God, it's so fucking asinine. He already stated that he didn't know who the driver was, so he was using the generic he when he probably should have said the driver. But for God's sakes, he's gonna harp on this minuscule point.
There's males, there's females.
There are singles and there are togethers. I mean, when you say we, it's the proverbial we.
So
Collectively, he would be along those lines as well.
is it fair to say that you could have just answered as we instead of he?
Objection.
Grounds?
Sustained. Next question, sir.
Other grounds on that?
It's argumentative. Rephrase your question.
Any reason why you would answer that question as he?
Objection. Irrelevant. Argumentative.
Grounds?
Asked and answered. Sustained.
Were you able to get a license plate of the vehicle?
No, I was not. I was focused, like I had said, on the body on the ground.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I did not get the license plate. I'm
After the vehicle had passed the vehicle that you were in, did you see the vehicle strike anyone after that point?
I did not see the vehicle strike anyone after the vehicle had passed me, other than driving over, like I had stated, the body that it had already struck.
Did you observe the vehicle strike anyone while it was approaching your position?
Clarify your question, please.
Did you observe the vehicle strike anyone while it was approaching your position?
Yes, I saw it hit Jane.
While it was approaching you?
While it was coming
Or
up.
your vehicle, rather?
Yes.
Did you observe the vehicle strike anyone else in that moment?
No, just Jane.
For I
Oh,
believe
no,
Mr.
no! Oh, God, what have I done? Fuck!
It's argumentative. Rephrase your question.
Any reason why you would answer that question as he?
Objection.
I was focused, like I had said, on the body on the ground. So I did not get the license plate. I'm
After the vehicle had passed
I did not see the vehicle I had stated.
position,
Clarify your question, please.
did you observe the vehicle strike anyone while it was approaching your position?
Yes, I saw it hit Jane
While it was approaching you?
while it was coming.
Yes,
vehicle.
you dumbass! Oh my God. Why are you asking this question over and over? You fucking idiot. Oh, the prosecutor's not going to object to that.
Anyone else in that moment?
No, just Jane.
And you said you went into a building called the Nice Ash after that moment?
That was correct.
Do you recall about how long you were in the Nice Ash?
Hour and a half, maybe.
I don't know about that, Ed. I don't know if I can say whether
would
I
pop in
can't
and
say
out
whether
because
or
I'm
not
trying
he
to
had
wrap
these
up the
beliefs
float and get us out of there.
prior
And
to the incident
once I was
or at the
told
time
I
of the
could not
incident.
touch my vehicle nor the float anymore because the area was deemed a crime scene. We went back in and made a plan on how we were going to get all of us home and then proceeded to leave. But businesses, I believe, were locked down, so no one could get in or out. They were locking their doors. Every time I went out, they would ask me, knock on the door, because we're locking it.
Do you recall about what time it was at that moment?
No. These are thoughts that you don't think about when you've been through something like this. I didn't sit there and note down times. I'm not trained in this.
Do you recall if it was still daytime or nighttime at the
Well, the parade started around 4:30, so it gets, and it was cloudy, so it was dusk. I mean, city lights were on. Emergencies vehicles, when they were pulling up, you saw the sirens, on the streets. You saw it was dusk. It was getting dark.
Would it be fair to say from the Exhibit 46 video that you were shown that it was pretty clear?
Again, wasn't focusing on the sky.
Do you agree or disagree? The video or that you saw was clear. That was the question.
The video, the clarity of the video, or the skies? Please clarify
that
your
it
question.
was pretty much still daytime. You can see everything.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the $20 super
You can
chat.
see, yes, it was clear. It was dusk. Lights were coming on. If
No, thank you.
the city lights, street lights were coming on.
I don't know why he would agree that it was clear.
Lights coming on, but
He would want it to be dusk so there was actually lower visibility. To at least call into question what
Answer, Your Honor.
objection.
the vehicle that people saw.
Overruled. He may answer.
I can remember lights coming on because they are stationary. The vehicle was traveling past me at a rate of speed with a woman that I thought was my wife on the vehicle. Was not really paying attention to who was driving the vehicle. Again,
So would it be fair to say you were paying attention to the lights?
God Almighty.
So what would lead you to believe that they were in fact coming on at that time?
Objection, argumentative,
Grounds.
asked and answered.
the video that I...
Hold on. There's an objection. I have to rule on it first. That's okay. The objection is sustained. Next question, sir.
No, before, just to clarify, this guy, his wife and kids were, well, did he say they were okay, or did one of his kids get struck? I can't remember, or one of the kids' friends got struck. But the wife was uninjured. He witnessed the second death along the parade route. Brooks would eventually go on to kill 4 more people. There's 6 in total. We've gone through the child previously, and we're now going through a second individual here. He would go on to kill 4 more people past this individual, Jane, who passed away.
Do you recall the duration of time that you saw the brake lights?
No, I do not.
But you did in fact see brake lights.
Thank you, Patscast, for the $9.99 super chat.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yes, briefly.
All right. Here's at least a little bit of levity here. But Patscast, the only way I can watch these is with already in the community. I can't watch my own get too angry. I feel you on that. But listen to this, guys. This is your moment of levity. So here it is.
Sir, after you saw brake lights, did you see the SUV or the red vehicle that you described ever come to a complete stop?
No.
Did you?
Well, there's been an objection. It's overruled. His answer may stand.
Did you at any time see the driver of the vehicle pull over, stop, and get out to investigate what he or she had just struck?
Objection.
Overruled.
No.
Did you ever see the vehicle come to a complete stop at any time?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
He got a sustain. My bad.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Oh, I wrong. Sorry, it's the wrong area. Give me 1 second. We're gonna watch the moment of levity though, because I feel like we need that right now. Here it is.
Cross-examination.
Oop. Here it is.
You had testified that you did not see any brake lights. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Objection.
Ground.
The judge calls him out with grounds. Let's hear it again, and then listen to this guy. Watch this guy's face right here.
Sir, at cross-examination, you had testified that you did not see any brake lights. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Objection.
Ground.
Relevancy.
Overruled.
They're trying so hard not to laugh.
Sorry, correct, yes.
Okay. You testified further on cross-examination that you observed the red SUV strike an individual to your left. Is that correct?
Objection. He also stated that he was focused on his children and not focused on...
That's an argumentative statement. What's the legal basis for your objection, Mr. Brooks?
That is hearsay.
Overruled.
I did not see the individual to my left get hit. I just saw her on the ground, or the victim on the ground.
After you saw her on the ground, did the red SUV stop?
Objection. Hearsay.
I'm just gonna skip ahead to the tail end where the judge announces that they were going to call it an early day. Eventually.
When we and the system 12:40.
There we go.
It is 12:43. I do have the parties in the courtroom. Appearances are as they were before, and now we can all hear better because the audio is turned on. The record should reflect that when we last broke, the court had received information regarding nearby tornado warnings. Ultimately, there were a number of warnings that were issued, some of which affected the immediate area. Our alert system ultimately went off with the lights and the audible voice telling everyone to take shelter. And it has been lifted, and it was lifted just a short time ago, and I had the parties brought back into the courtroom. I know when we broke unexpectedly, it was during the
Thank you, NRH, for the $9.99 super chat.
For
Appreciate it, man.
Mr. Knapp. And my thoughts are as follows, is to have Mr. Knapp come back in, I presume he's available, and finish his cross-examination. And then frankly, given the severity of the weather that went through, including near my house, and I need to check on my house, is to break for the day. So I know there's jurors who live in the area, potentially, where some of these things happened. I don't want to question everyone about, whether they have power or whether they don't have power. I just think given the gravity of this case and the weather system that went through, I want to make sure people are giving their full attention, and I would like to then break for the day and then resume tomorrow morning. So that's my plan, as is my practice, though I will give the parties an opportunity to indicate whether they think differently, but that's what I'd like to do. From the state?
I understand, and I certainly respect the court's concern for the jurors and their property and their families.
It's not just the jurors. Let me just say, obviously there's a lot of folks that are here attending. Just what I was following in terms of the weather.
The tornado is asserting jurisdiction right now, so
things that happened
the court has to
south
defer.
of here. There were things that happened north and west of here. There's people from all over, and I just think it would be wise to let everyone break for the day and then, check on their things and make sure that there are things that they don't need to attend to as the case may be. So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sure, no, and I understand that, Judge. I don't have an argument with that. I just, we obviously have a full slate of witnesses here to go this afternoon. Some have traveled from like the Cudahy area or, some distance, not unavoidable, but my only other suggestion would be to maybe, take an extended break and let people make calls or even go home and check and come back at 3:00 or something. If that's a possibility, we could still work for a couple hours yet this afternoon. But whatever the court thinks is best, we certainly will be prepared either way.
I certainly would be open to maybe an extended break so that I and others could do exactly what you just say. But I'll hear from you, sir, if you have any position on that.
Yeah, I do have a position on that. I agree with your first assessment, Your Honor. Mainly because, too, with severity and weather, that can sometimes mess with equipment being the trial being televised. That can possibly interrupt that. And you never know. Some people that may be key to this matter may not be able to come back after an extended break. There's no way to tell at this point. I do believe it would, on the air, just for cautionary reasons, would be wise to kind of break for the day and then reset tomorrow morning or whenever the court feels it's best. I may need to do some checking of my own with some close relatives of my own. And so I would want to put that on record as well.
Thank you. I presume, though, no objection from anyone to at least finishing up with Mr. Knapp. It appeared to me we were close to being done, including whether he's fine with that as well. And he's shaking his head, yes.
State really quick.
All right. So he continues on with the cross-examination. It's what you expect it to be.
Who you identified today does not have a dark complexion.
Oh, shit. He does do this part where he tries to.
So it's not a fair.
Sustained. Next question.
He tries to knock down the identity of who we saw in the car, and it goes into an issue of whether it was a light-skinned or a dark-skinned African American.
Do you recall if the driver had hair? Any hair whatsoever?
I recall seeing facial hair.
Any hair on their head?
I don't recall at the moment as we sit today picturing exactly that if I saw hair or if I didn't.
Any reason why you wouldn't be able to see the driver's head?
My eyes were locked on a vehicle that was driving at a high rate of speed with the person driving the vehicle's eyes extremely wide. And then at that moment, my full attention went to my children where that vehicle was driving at a very high rate of speed.
So it would be fair to say that because you keep making reference to the eyes. So would it be fair to say then that because you were so fixated on the eyes that it would be hard to tell any other features of the driver?
I'm stating what I saw: wide eyes, black male, facial hair.
Would it being so fixated on the eyes, would that in any way make it hard for you to see any other facial description?
I'm not sure of your definition of hard. I'm stating what I saw.
He already stated that all he noticed was black male with facial hair.
Do you recall if there was anything on the driver's head, a hat or anything of that nature?
I don't recall.
You stated that it was an African American male. Do you recall a skin complexion?
I do.
Was it a dark skin complexion?
It was.
Would it be fair to say that who you identify today does not have a dark complexion?
I guess it depends upon the definition of dark.
So he's now going to fixate on the fact that he said that it was a dark-skinned African-American male. But as, Nat pointed out, black folks can change complexion just like white folks can, depending on how often they're out in the sun. It's a thing that happens. But he's definitely going to fixate on the fact that he said it was a dark skin complexion.
What is your definition of dark? Because in all fairness, you said dark skin. So what would be your definition of dark skin?
Dark skin as present on my interaction with black males in the past.
So every black male that you've had an interaction with was dark skinned?
Again, it depends. There's different complexions of dark, and it depends upon what complexion or what your definition of dark is.
I'm asking your definition because you said dark skin.
Yeah, I'm going to object to this line of questioning.
On
The
what
point
grounds?
has been made. This witness identified the defendant, Daryl Brooks, as a person driving the car. I think he's asked the question about dark skin. I think that this has been asked and answered.
Objection.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question. I believe the way it's asked is argumentative. You may rephrase if you so choose.
May my objection be noted that I do not identify by that name, nor do I know anybody by that name. I don't consent to being called that name.
Noted. Next question, please.
I mean, people are right. Like, and somebody actually already mentioned this. Mr. Brooks could pass for Puerto Rican. I've seen, fellow Boricuas having the exact same complexion. But he's obviously, well, I will say obviously, but it seems apparent to me in my experience that he's mixed. Mixed race. So he has a lighter complexion than at the time. I mean, Omega, you're right. Puerto Ricans are all over the spectrum. We can be black to meat, for God's sake. But at the time that he was caught, he had a darker complexion. But again, he's probably been inside. He's been inside for like the last 12 months. So he might become lighter as a result. But he's going to fixate on this issue for the remainder.
Have you ever had any other interactions with any black males that were not considered dark-skinned by your definition?
I don't understand your question.
Have you had any previous interactions with African Americans that were not dark-skinned?
Thank you, Paul, for the $2 super chat.
Grounds.
Overruled. It relates to his identification. He may answer.
As stated before, my interactions with black males before, there are different levels of complexion and color tones, darker versus lighter. And I have interacted with black males before that have been both lighter and darker skin tones, yes.
Would it be fair to say that you didn't give that clarification when asked before?
I don't understand your question.
Would it be fair to say that you did not give that clarification when asked the same question before?
What clarification are you referring to?
You strictly said the skin tone. You came to the conclusion that it was dark skin based on your interactions with African American males before. Would it be fair to say that that's what you testified to?
That I can identify the skin tone color is what I stated, and the person that was driving the vehicle had a darker skin tone.
May I have that paperback that he has? I might have a question from the chat.
Look, he's not stupid. This is the one area that the only angle that he has is that wasn't me who was driving the vehicle. And talking about whether or not that he was a dark skin, light skin, that's actually relevant to proper identification. Again, I'm not saying that this guy didn't do it. Please don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is that this is his only angle he has.
from your recollection of the interview with law enforcement, do you recall stating that you don't vividly recall any acceleration?
I do recall stating that.
Yeah, guys, I'm getting Comcasted. Please refresh if you can.
And just for clarification for the record, you did not see the vehicle strike anyone once it was past your location.
When it passed me, I saw the vehicle strike my daughter.
The location where you were at, you made reference to being near that intersection corner, I think it was. So once it was past that location is what I'm referring to.
Right. So after the vehicle struck my daughter and then past that location, I ran to my daughter as stated, and I did not see, other than the vehicle swerve back towards Main Street, the vehicle strike another human being.
So you did not see it, just for clarification, because that was a lot of commentary. For clarification for the record, you did not see
Guys,
it.
please hit that like button if you can. Thank you, all of you, for coming in to watch me. Thank you.
That is correct.
And thank you, Paul, for the $10 super chat. No. The only reason why he's saying grounds.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Sir, you may step down.
So ultimately, she recesses for the day because of the weather. And they're going to start back up at tomorrow morning. Paul, to answer your question, he's not saying grounds to give himself leniency with the judge. He's saying grounds because some jailhouse lawyer told him that he has the right to ask for the grounds of any objection that's being made against his questions, and to ask for the basis for sustaining or overruling the objection. It's purely a tactic that another tactic that he's trying to use is, to use on appeal. So that's what he's going with when it comes to saying grounds all the time. No, Jassa, he doesn't understand because I don't think he understands the concept of optics. He doesn't. He doesn't realize just how bad it's looking to not just the public, but the jury itself. So, yeah. So that's what's going to happen. So that's it. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm not going to be able to stream until I get home, which probably was going to be 6 o'clock. But because wait, how many more days of testimony? The state originally predicted that they'd be able to end on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, but because it's ended early, I fully expect that it's probably not going to end until Friday afternoon, and we're probably not going to see the defense, Mr. Brooks, make his case until Monday, assuming he does make a case. So Friday after, the expectation is that they're going to finish up by Friday afternoon. But thank you. I want to thank you guys again. If you want to see me get scared in Phasmophobia, you could head to my gaming channel. I will be on there. I think I said it at 7, but I'm probably going to push it at 7:30 to give myself a little bit of extra time to eat dinner. So 7:30 for Phasmophobia on my gaming channel. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think Sean Hawkins is gonna join me and hoping a couple other folks can join me as well. And yeah, I want to thank you guys again. Thank all of you new folks for coming in to watch me. I hope I lived up to your expectations. And check out my Discord for any updates on the channel, or just hang out with the rest of the community. I'm really happy and I'm really proud of having an active community on Discord. So you should definitely check it out if you haven't. But thank you guys again. Take care. And yeah, have a good one. Later.